In the boxing world, Ryan Garcia, big reputation. Maybe not the best reputation, but a big reputation. And there's been a lot of discussion about what he is, what he isn't, who he could be, who he is at the moment. But one thing we didn't know is if he could get to the high level again. And last weekend, he did. Let's take a look at Ryan Garcia's just rocketing back into the boxing spotlight. So Ryan Garcia with an excellent performance over the weekend that I think opened a lot of eyes. And we'll talk about what it means and everything like that. But first and foremost, he was spectacular. I know there's a lot with him, and he's not my favorite dude, but there is no denying from 23 seconds in, where he's dropping Mario Barrios, to the rest of the fight, this was an absolutely spectacular and dominant performance from Ryan Garcia. And look, I don't know if we learn a whole lot from this because of how bad Barrios was, but we've seen a lot of stinkers out of Garcia. So for him to do this against anybody is hugely important. No, there was not a lot of resistance coming back. No, he didn't have to even remotely figure out what plan B was. But he was still able to go out there and implement his game plan and look that good. He looked motivated, he looked talented, and this has been a bit of the frustration over the last little bit, is that a lot of people thought this was in there, and it was just a whole lot of the mental makeup that was not allowing him to get that out there. Well, again, maybe not against the toughest opponent, but he was able to get it out there on Saturday, and it is at least a little bit intriguing for him. There's still a long way to go, though, for Ryan Garcia. He still has a lot to prove. He did not show in this fight that he can handle any sort of adversity. One fight isn't going to change anyone's perception that this guy can stay focused to be a high-level boxer and have an extended run at the championship level. It's one fight. It's one good fight against one guy who we'll talk about in a second, but just killed his stock. But it's still one fight, and it's one stepping stone, but it's a long way to go for him to get back into a lot of people's good graces, for us to just fully buy in to Ryan Garcia being 100% back. So he showed everything that he could in this fight, but there are still many, many questions that need to be answered over the next probably couple of years before we're really back into taking this guy fully seriously. On the other side, Barrios just killed his stock. Like, no one is going to take him seriously for a very long time. And this is the problem with taking the fights against these star attractions, is that, yes, this is the biggest stage that you will fight on. And if you can put on a good performance, it can set you up for life. Whether it's an upset win or just a great showing that lets you kind of stay here on the pay-per-view championship level. But when it's bad, no one is like, oh, well, no, I really liked his fights against blah, 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 blah. No casual is talking about that. Very few people are discussing what this guy has done in other performances. This was the biggest stage in front of the most eyeballs that he had to fight in front of, and he was dreadful. There was no resistance coming back. There was no altering of a game plan. There was no dealing with anything other than just kind of turtling there for 12 rounds. This was the type of fight that absolutely kills a boxer's brand. And so he is going to have some incredibly high-level performances coming out of this fight against guys that we've heard of, for people to just kind of push all of that to the background. So, interesting? Yeah, not so much anymore. Mario Barrios, a very, very difficult night for him against Ryan Garcia. So what's next for Ryan Garcia? He made the call out for Shakur Stevenson. I think that's the fight that has to happen now. Stevenson, his brand has never been higher, coming off of a great performance against Teofimo Lopez earlier in the month. Just a complete dominance in that fight. And now you have Garcia looking the best that he has looked in a very long time. And that, I feel like, it was the call out. It was the direction. Like, Stevenson was on the broadcast a lot on DAZN on Saturday. Those guys are heading for a collision. And so this is one of the biggest fights you can make in that division right now. I think you have to do that. I think it makes all the sense in the world for Stevenson and Garcia to face each other. It's one of those, like, they made the call out. Fine, go for it. Now, if the trouble for Garcia is Stevenson's very difficult to look good against. And even if, like, it's a competitive fight, it's tough to style on that guy. And so if we're looking for a fight where Garcia could answer all of the questions, that would be it. I would not anticipate him doing that, but that would be it. If he can solve the Stevenson Rubik's Cube, then all of a sudden it's superstardom for him. And he's already, like, popularity wise, he's already a superstar. But we're talking about, like, amongst boxing rankings and everything like that, super duper star, 100%, if he is able to figure that one out. So that's probably the next direction, I would say, for a Ryan Garcia fight. What did you guys make of the fights on Saturday? Overall, I thought it was a really, really strong card on DAZN. What was able to watch tip to tail. It was a very, very fun night of fights, I thought. But what did you guys think? Let me know in the comments, and what would you like to see next for Ryan Garcia? Hit me up again in the comments, and we can chat about that. Or if you're, again, listening on the podcast, head over to my social media accounts. I am at Primetime Klein on X, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and Blue Sky. Normally, we do these live, haven't for a couple of weeks, but we are going to get back to doing these live very, very soon. And so because of that, make sure you check things out over on youtube.com/@CouchPotatoDiary, twitch.tv/PrimetimePK, and kick.com/PrimetimePK.